Welcome to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, coming to you from the Cargo District Recording Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina, where we discuss the most fascinating topics of life. I'm Tyler Yaw with my co-host, Chris Kellum, and each week we interview a special guest to learn how they acquired their wisdom over a glass of whiskey. So, sit back, pour yourself a glass, and enjoy Whiskey and Wisdom.
Welcome back to the Whiskey Wisdom Podcast, everybody. This is your co-host, Tyler Yaw, and today I am with
Chris Kellum.
And our special guest today is
Christina Fulford.
And Christina, what do you do?
I own Fulford Construction Group, so I'm a general contractor.
I saw Catherine rocking your hoodie the other day.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, female-owned contractor. I do residential, commercial, remodels, new builds, whatever you want.
Oh, nice. Very good. And some other fun stuff that we'll get into as well. But before we get into all of that, Chris, what are we sipping on today?
We went classic. We pulled out the Crown Royal Black, another Crown edition I've never tried before.
Me either.
So this one is supposed to be super simple. On the nose, supposed to be rich oak and sweet maple notes. Should be a more velvety taste on the tongue with some dried fruits, fig mostly. And then it should have just like a classic deep bourbon notes on the end. Yeah, I love like the big brands get like really broad about their descriptions. Right. And then like the smaller distilleries are like, this is all the different flavors. I'm like, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here, cheers.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Tastes better going down. It's actually,
I can get down with that.
Yeah. It smells really strong.
It does.
But the taste is much better
That's
than
good.
the smell.
I will say, I do have to brag. I did try, the Starling had a bottle of 1954 Crown Royal.
Ooh.
And you'd be surprised that like the flavors change over the years because they have different master distillers. That 1954 was good.
Was it?
I was like, I don't drink straight Crown, but this is the closest I've had, like I'm tasting that to that 1954 bottle.
Cool.
That's pretty good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Save yourself a few $100s.
If you can get it.
If you can find
Yeah,
it.
that's fair.
I was like, I've been saving up for a long time to try that. I was like, finally.
So when you do drink, I know you don't drink often, but when you do drink, no?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your go-to then?
Oh, gosh. So I drank a lot in my 20s, took a 4-year hiatus, and I just got back this year just to kind of see how I felt. So go-to is vodka.
Okay.
That's never been bad to me.
Right.
Whereas like back in the day, kind of everything else, we had a little, it didn't end well.
Sure.
But I'm slowly getting back into kind of everything. So my husband likes old fashions, and I've been getting back into old fashions, and they're so good. I'm like, okay, I like it, but I know my limit. I can only have so much. And then I'm like, okay, this is enough for me. But yeah, vodka's my go-to, or champagne. Champagne's never done me wrong.
The purples.
Yeah. Wine I like, but like I really do get a headache. Yeah, I'll have a glass and be fine, but 2 glasses and I'm not going to feel good.
That's exactly how I am too. I was like, after I get my first one done, I'm like, okay, it's done from there. It's not even fun.
Have you ever tried a rum old fashioned? Like a dark rum?
Oh, I bet that'd be good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've done it with like Plantation Dark, and then just do the same setup as a regular old fashioned. A little bit sweeter.
Yeah. I do like spiced rum. That'd be good.
So,
yeah.
just an idea.
Yeah. That's a good call.
So now we're going down your past with liquors and how we were not friends with a lot of them anymore. But give us a real deep dive. Like, who are you? What'd you do? How'd you end up here?
Yeah, I grew up in Pinehurst, North Carolina, if y'all know where that is, and came here in 2007 to go to UNCW, go Seahawks. We're just complimenting how great their basketball team was last night.
Yep.
Like first time in forever.
Right.
So yeah, I came to UNCW, and literally the only reason was I want to go to college at the beach. Didn't know anything about Wilmington. It was like the last day I could apply, and I was like, why not go to college at the beach? Check it out. This place is cool. So did orientation here, and I was like, I think I like it here. And I got my undergrad in international business.
Okay.
I lived in Spain for a summer, and I speak Spanish as well. So my minor's in Spanish. And I thought I would be some liaison for some company, maybe like Latin America travels. Ended up, that was kind of my dream. Yeah. Ended up just staying here in Wilmington, loving it, and met my husband. And then I just did some odd jobs here and there, little businesses of my own. I was like a personal trainer for a while. And then I have 4 children. So then I had a couple of kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I worked with my husband's company, a little plug. He owns Fulford Heating and Cooling.
Yep.
So worked with him for a little bit, understood the construction industry from the subcontractor side.
Oh, yeah.
And then after our 4th child, my husband said, what do you think about getting your contractor's license? We've got some land. Let's do a few spec houses. And I was like, sure. So that was the hardest test I've ever taken in my life, by the way. Yeah, it was a 5.5-hour exam.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And since I just had my son, I was like still nursing him. So I had to step out during the exam. The clock was still running. Like it was definitely against all odds. I passed it. Yeah, it was challenging, but I passed it. And then he was like, yeah, let's just do some spec houses. But then I kept getting referrals. You know how women talk, right? They're like, oh, you're a contractor. How do you feel about doing a kitchen? I'm like, I did my own kitchen. I can do a kitchen.
Right.
And then the kitchen gave me more referrals. And then it's all been word of mouth. And I have blown up like crazy. Yeah. So what was just supposed to be like little spec houses, which was great because that's how I learned a lot, has turned into, I now run a full-blown business. I'm doing a 9-bedroom beach house right now. I mean, we just did like a $5 million beach duplex that sold pretty quickly. Gosh, I'm about to do a 5,400 square foot house, and that's just heated. The unheated's like around like a little over 9,000.
Oh, jeez.
It's yeah. He had to buy. He had to buy the lot next door to get this big of a house. Yeah, so it's going to be the biggest in the neighborhood, and I can't wait for that permit to get approved. Like I just applied for it. We picked out fixtures last week. I'm so ready. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's going to be the best house I've ever done. So I've got probably like 12 projects going on right now.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think I've hit that phase in life where like I started seeing people on Instagram. It's like, who do you follow? It's like whiskey, shoes, and contractors. I'm like, oh, I like this construction. I like how this is remodeled.
Welcome to your 30s.
Yes.
Yeah. I see that all the time too. I'm like, can somebody like have the money for me to do this for you, please?
Yes.
Yeah, but this one's probably going to be the closest. He was just texting me some tile pictures yesterday, and there's just beautiful like aqua and gold tile. It's stunning. And he was like, I like this. I was like, I can do that for you. I've seen what the end result looks like, and I was sending him pictures, and he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
so
neat.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So how do you do it all with 4 kids and running this full business?
Oh, help. It's for sure. I mean, as we can do it all ourselves, but like if you don't have to, I say don't. Right. Take help where you can get it. I'm never too proud to say like I need help. Yeah. So yeah, I have a babysitter that comes in, and she's like amazing. And then I've got a great team. Like I have project managers I can count on. Their communication's really good. I tell them to do something, they do it. They give me feedback all the time on what's going on the job site. So that helps in the business aspect. Yeah, just take help where you can get it. Yeah.
That's awesome that you've been able to find good help too, because that's probably the number one complaint, right? It's like, oh, I can't find anyone that like wants to work around here. Oh, I can't find someone that I trust. Yeah. So it's great that and that goes back to the hiring part, right? Is knowing who you're looking for and finding those good people. So I applaud you for that.
For contractors, what I actually do is I'm remodeling my house. I feel like that's very common in Wilmington. You have to kind of buy something older and fix it up because our land is getting depleted very quickly and everybody's going vertical, right? So before I hire a new contractor, I have them do something small at my house to see what I think.
Smart.
Yeah. So like my epoxy guy, I said, cool, epoxy my garage, let's check it out. Did a good job. Now I can hire him out. I will not put them on somebody's job site if they don't know what they're doing. That's my responsibility, and I just don't feel good about that. So yeah, that's my way to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very smart.
Yeah, thanks.
So my random question, because trust me, I have a lot of these.
Okay.
Just get ready.
Okay.
When it comes to like contracting and like doing small fixes, what has been your favorite?
Kitchen and baths I could do all day long.
Okay.
They're just easy, comfortable, and there's such a big transformation and adds such value to your home. So I think that's like a wise way to go if you're going to do something. And I love to see the transformation, especially if it's a woman that really wants a nice kitchen. Yes. Like that makes our house a home. So that's what I love. But we did probably my coolest is that 9-bedroom house on Topsail. We had to put a pool in the backside of a dune. Topsail doesn't care.
They let you do that?
I'll have to show you some pictures. They do not. Yeah, their regulations are far different than any other beach I've worked on. Wow. So by far that was the coolest, was like getting this crane over this 40-foot house to put on the backside of a dune.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
That'd be crazy.
Oh, it was crazy. And there was a lot of like regulations to go through, but they still are like, yeah, go ahead and do it. Where Wrightsville would be like, are you crazy?
Right. How
dare you ask? Yeah. There's no way. So that's the coolest. But yeah, I could do kitchens and baths all day long.
See, So talking about bathroom remodels and everything, preference, stand-up shower or a tub?
It depends. You got kids?
No. So my house, we have enough bathrooms. If we had kids, I could wash the kids in a separate bathroom.
Sure.
But like in your master, like are you like a separate like stand-up shower and then a separate like clawfoot, or are you just like, hey,
stand-up shower all day?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I like. But again, this big house, my homeowner, he's like an 8-foot shower. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
And he was like, can I just go ahead and like put a stand-up tub or, separate tub in there? And I was like, I guess if you want to, So he's considering that for both options. But really, a lot of people don't use their tubs. Yeah.
True.
It's like a nice idea.
They don't typically make, well, they do, but it's way more custom. I'm a big guy. So if I'm getting a tub, it's going to have to be real custom. I wish I could take baths more though. I wish I was Tyler's height. Yeah. I could fit into a normal tub.
Well, there's those deep ones, they might be a little bit more smaller, but they're deep too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think about that all the time. Like, I wish I could just sit in a bathtub every once in a while.
Traditional 5 foot. Yeah. That's pretty standard.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, like my knees and like my boobs are just cold.
You're like, this is supposed to be relaxing. I'm freezing right now. Actually, this is not enjoyable. The water gets cold.
Sorry, my brain goes down those rabbit holes.
Good,
Tyler. I feel like you have a real question to ask.
No, it's okay.
That was a real question.
Yeah, let's say it definitely wasn't a fake one. So when your husband first said like, hey, we're going to try these spec homes, what was your first thought hearing that?
I'm very much the person that's like, I say yes and I figure it out later.
Right.
So I just said, cool, let's do it. And he knew more the construction side, but I was like, I can pass a test. Like that's what I knew I could do. And I knew enough to where I felt comfortable handling a house. Right. So we did that one together, the first one. And then, everything else, he was kind of like, well, if you want to run the business, he's like, I'm not doing anything with customers. If you want to run the business, run it, do your thing. But it was his land that we're building on technically, right? It's our family land. So I'm like, okay, well, spec houses is kind of what we do together. And then I just took it and ran with it. Yeah. I don't know. I just said yes and I'd figure it out. And that's kind of my attitude with most things. If I want to do it and I want to try it, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read an interesting statistic, actually. Men, before they get into an industry, they have to know like 90% of the industry before they get in. I'm sorry, take that back. They need to know 60% of the industry, where women, we need to know 90% of the industry before we commit, which is so interesting to me because if you want to try something, just say yes. Yeah. Like I don't know why we do that as women. Like, we're just like, no, I need to know more things. Like I'm constantly learning. I've been doing this for years and there's something new every day.
Right.
And people have been doing this for decades and they're still learning. So why not just commit and go for it?
That's one thing that I talk about even at my job too, is there's so many people that want to be like, I guess you learn this from school. Like, you want to get the A, you want to be like, have a 100%. Yeah. But that, unfortunately, that's just not how the real world works. Right. Sometimes you just have to put it out there and see what happens. And then just kind of take that feedback and start moving forward. Very rarely, if you do something in good faith and try your hardest at it, is something going to blow up. You're going to mostly learn from it more than anything.
For sure. I've taken a few pay cuts, but that's okay. You know, exactly. Like I'd rather have a happier customer and lose a few $100 than just relationships are important to me than have like somebody disgruntled and spreading my name, like upset. I'm like, you know what? If I lose a little money, I gain some experience.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So one is probably cheaper than actually going out and getting like a master, whatever that was, to teach you how to do it. So one, it's cheaper that way. And two, like you said, you build that relationship. Mm-hmm. So actually, Catherine, one of our friends, that's another way that we kind of like really bonded too, is we were going back and forth on like a business thing before. And I just kind of went over the top and was like, you know what, I'm going to take a loss on this. But I know Catherine really has a good vision and a good plan when she first got into real estate. Mm-hmm. And it kind of built our relationship off of that too. So yeah, to your point, I think it definitely makes more sense to take the small pay cut to build a relationship and learn.
Agree. There's nothing like real world experience. And I say that with a 4-year degree. Like real world is far more valuable for sure. Mm-hmm.
Is construction something you've always been kind of interested in, or did it take a little bit to kind of grow on you?
No, not at all. But I've always been an entrepreneur, so I wanted to run my own company. I don't respond well to when people tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. Not my thing. Right? Like, it's just, and we need people like that. We need people that prefer to get direction and have somebody have the plan for what they want. And I'm grateful for that. but I will be the person that will like just push back and be like, you're not telling me anything.
Exactly.
So no, I always wanted to like run a business or like I said, be some sort of like CEO or like liaison, kind of have my freedom to make my schedule. And construction just kind of fell in my lap. And it's so interesting because I do speak Spanish and a lot of my guys don't know that. Some of them do, but yeah. So some of my subcontractors prefer Spanish and are on the job site. So my siding guy, he texted me in Spanish one day, not knowing I was going to respond in Spanish. And I responded and he calls me and he's like, did you get that? And I said, yeah, because it was proper Spanish. It wasn't Google Translate. It was how
like
you communicate.
Talking. Yeah.
Exactly. And I said, yeah, Roberto, I actually speak Spanish. And he said, what? And I was like, yeah, I hear you guys all the time. But they're usually not talking about anything. They're talking about measurements and stuff. So and it's none of my business anyways to be listening. So, but it's so interesting how I went down that path of Spanish and like and a business owner. And now that's what I am in a field I never thought I'd be in. Right. But my dad was like in real estate, like he was a landlord. So houses and rentals and flips, like that's something I kind of grew up knowing a little bit about anyways. Right. And now I'm just really into it. And if I could flip houses, I would do that all day long too, like kitchens, bath, flip and sell. But no, I didn't ever anticipate this for sure, but I love it. I mean, the industry is only made up of like 4% of women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's very small niche, but women do really well in this industry. We communicate well. Like if you know numbers, which I'm very much a numbers person. Yeah. If you communicate well and like can plan a budget and talk to people and give them a vision, then like they'll crush it here.
Yeah. I can see that. I know as a guy, if I tried to tell you a vision that I saw, first of all, my vision probably sucks. And second of all, exactly, yeah,
sorry. I'm married.
Exactly.
Justin will be like, this tile with this tile. I'm like, oof. Oh, love you. No.
Yeah. But then even if I did have a good vision, like somewhere out of like left field, I wouldn't be able to describe it good enough to a client to make them buy in on it.
Yeah.
So I completely agree. I could see how women do especially well in that industry.
Yeah. Have you seen my Airbnb yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I think it's incredible.
Yeah. So that was I'll have to show you pictures. You want me to pull it up? Yeah. It was a very unique vision, very bold. And I don't know how to work an Android. Again.
It's just like Google.
It's not
Is it
just
on Instagram?
Like, it's on Instagram. Go to Instagram. I'm like, I'm an iPhone girl all day. You're an Android too. I get the green text and I'm like, it's a good thing Tyler's cool. It's fine.
I mean, Catherine is an Android.
I know, and I also love her, so it's fine.
Everyone just needs to move to WhatsApp, and then I won't have to worry about blue bubbles, green bubbles.
I do love WhatsApp. Yeah. Okay.
I did hear that Apple is finally going to start upgrading their technology and join the rest of us.
Supposedly.
Wait. Say that one more time.
So Android phones have been using RCS, which is like rich communication systems. So we get all the features that like iMessage does, like respond to text, texting, text notifications, but it's between any Android phone. And technically iPhones have been using like SMS, which is what we had like on our flip phones. So when you text,
y'all are like the BlackBerry, like BBM.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, talk early 2000s. Yes. I get it.
So like our stuff is better technically, and it's encrypted on the front and back. Whereas like Apple's just like, we don't care if your stuff's encrypted.
Y'all want our data? Okay, go right ahead.
Yes.
Whatever. Like our data's out there anyways. I have like Alexas all over. Yeah, for the longest time, I was like, I'm going to say no to TikTok. And this year, I was like, the Chinese already know everything about me.
Right.
Like, you guys can check my Amazon orders all day.
Exactly.
I have nothing to hide.
Ooh, I love that shower.
Thank you. Yeah, so like I went pretty bold on those designs, but yeah, that was probably the most unique design I've done lately. A lot of people want like mostly white. That's like their thing. Yeah. No, I like a little pop of color in there, and I like white too. Like there's a place for it, but that was all my design.
It's very interesting. Like I joke with my wife about like visualizing everything because I'm pretty sure I was raised by women, so like my brain definitely not on the same thought process as women, but I can visualize things a lot better than most people can. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking like designing stuff. Like we were putting up Christmas lights and I'm like, so you want it here, and do this. And she's like, I have to see it to understand. I was like, no, just trust me. If you just picture it and she just can't do it.
Yeah. Maybe she doesn't have photographic like vision.
No, she doesn't.
No, yeah.
That's everything I do looks like a picture in my head.
Yeah, same.
She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I can get from here to here because I just picture a map just drawing from like point A to point B.
Yeah.
Or I can say like, oh, this bathroom would look good, like color wise. Like we're trying to decorate we did our living room wall with like a
accent.
Like we put all our photos up on the wall. But instead of it just being in lines, it's like a gallery wall.
Yeah.
And she was like, I need you to lay them all out on the floor for me to guess. And I'm like, no, I can just see like this one fits here and this will fit here.
Right.
And I could get stuff done so much faster if we thought on the same page.
For sure. No, there's a reason when you're married, you're not supposed to think on the same page. You're supposed to challenge each other in a good way. Yeah.
See, no one told me that.
Oh,
that's why I always say you're better half. Makes a whole.
Yeah.
So to completely switch it up now, going from construction, so you're also into pageants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to show the complete dichotomy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and is it your current title, right?
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Wilmington.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Yes. Thanks. I just started doing pageants a few years ago.
No way.
My friend Danielle in Georgia, she's done pageants her whole life. She reached out to me and she was like, you should do pageants. I'm like, whatever, Danielle, whatever you say. Right. I was like, I didn't grow up doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. And then she got on me a couple of years and she goes, actually, I met the state directors from North Carolina and gave him your number. So you're gonna get a phone call. And I was like, and I'm going to tell him all day, I don't know what I'm doing. So I had a great conversation with the director and she said, if you want to do it, I think you'd be a great fit. Just apply. So I have to apply to make sure that I'm not like a sketchy person and I can represent what I want to represent. And yeah, I got in. My first year, I got essentially first runner up. So I was like a step away from winning. And then I got the second runner up essentially. So the second year. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun. I made like some of the best friends. I mean, one of my very best friends now, she did the pageant with me and we talk almost every day.
That's neat.
Yeah. And what's interesting? I actually met 2 other general contractors in the pageant.
No way.
Yeah. So now there's one in Charlotte and there's one in the mountains. So, and they're all female. Yeah. I was like, is this where we all go? Like we all go to a pageant?
It's the natural next step, of course.
Isn't that weird? I think our mentality is though, like if we can do construction, we can do anything. Get me on a stage in 6-inch heels. I got this.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, it's very interesting that we all kind of like gathered there. But I had a great experience. Everybody I met was wonderful. There was no cattiness, probably because we're older. I feel like if you're maybe in the teens, there might be some conflict between girls because they're just, that's just girls, right?
Yeah.
But you get 30 plus women in a room and we were fine. We talked about our kids, talked about our careers, went on stage, cheered each other on, said, you look great, girl. And like, let's do it again.
Oh, that's neat.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. So definitely not the type of pageants that you see on TV or Netflix where they're trying to create all of the drama.
No. And I'm sure that's out there, but that wasn't my experience.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So you took my question. I was going to be like, is it like Miss Congeniality?
Miss Congeniality is such a good movie.
It is such a good one. I always think when people are like, what's the perfect date? And
April 23rd.
Thank you.
All I need is a light
Chris
jacket.
would have stared at me.
How did you not know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I grew up watching a bunch of random movies and can quote like just enough of everything.
Oh yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It could be a lot better, but.
I just watched Oppenheimer. Have you guys watched that?
No.
I did not realize that was a 3-hour movie. I was in.
Oh, wow.
I was already in, and I was like, wow. It took me 3 days to watch it.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Right.
It was good. It was a lot of talking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of deliberating around a table. And I was like, if I hear like uranium one more time, I just, other than that, I mean, the action was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty surprised that they were able to make a movie based around that because I figured it was very, I can't imagine it was that exciting. So by being able to make a movie to get people to pay attention for 3 hours.
Right. The ending was good. Yeah. Not going to spoil it for you, but there was like some court stuff going on. So that was interesting. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
That's when it got fun.
So kind of bringing both of the lives back together again, what's the number one thing that you've learned from being in construction and the number one thing that you learned from being in the pageant?
It's actually this mentality that I learned after college too, which is kind of funny, is that I can do anything. Mm-hmm. I can do anything. So I went to school, like I said, for 4 years and I really didn't use my degree. And I was like, but if I can make it through, I paid for a good chunk of my college, like my tuition, and I paid my living expenses the entire way through. Mm-hmm. All of that. I said, if I can do this, I can do anything. And so that's why I said, Construction, no problem. I can do anything. Pageant, no problem. I can do anything. And so I literally go into that anything now with that mentality. Like if I want to do it, I can do it. Yeah.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah.
And because I'm going to go back because I asked silly, stupid questions. What's a spec home for us normal people?
What do you mean?
Like, what is a spec home?
Oh, a spec home. Oh, sorry. So it's a home that we're not building it custom for somebody, but we're building it to sell and put it and bring it to the market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you see like production homes going up, like neighborhoods. Those are essentially like a neighborhood of spec homes. Like we're building this for somebody. We just don't know who yet.
Okay.
And we're going to sell it, but we're not going to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
It's not like full custom, like, oh, hey, I'm building it for myself.
Right. I'm not building it for myself. I'm not building it for a client. I'm building it to put out there on the market and see if it sells.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've always heard the term spec home, and I'm like,
oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah. That's a builder or like an investor or I guess maybe even an individual. And they just say, we're going to make some money off a home.
Yep.
Build a home for somebody. Don't know who. Yeah.
Understandable. Sorry.
Yeah. No, good question. That was a good question.
I just jumped way back, but that's how I think.
Yeah, it's a good question. Good. Took a little bit to like figure out, catch up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Secondly, growing up in Pinehurst.
Yeah.
Do you play golf?
I do. Yeah. I played golf when I was in 8th grade. And then I stopped for a while and I just started taking lessons again. And I'm a lefty. So it's really, really hard to find left-handed clubs. I don't know if y'all play. It's so hard. Yeah. So I just finally got my new clubs and I'm going to go back to the driving range soon. So I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime people are like, I'm from Pinehurst, or if you say you're from Brunswick County, my automatic thought is like, do you play golf?
Yeah. That's the question. That is the question. That's whenever I'm like, have you heard of Pinehurst? And they're like, no. I'm like, it's big golf. Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, right. That's what we got. Golf or horses. And my daughters ride horses, which is interesting because I was never like around horses. Just I saw them in Pinehurst, but I go back to Pinehurst once a month now to take them to horse shows.
Oh,
yeah.
Really
so
neat.
Visit my family, go to my little hometown, and my girls are riding. And then I'm like, oh, now I can go play golf out here. Like now now I'm an adult. I got the money. Like, let's do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was driving around like just because I was bored one day and didn't realize how many stables New Hanover County has. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's what's all the way back here at the end of this road.
Right.
Like even in the middle of town, like there's 3 or 4 stables just dropped in the middle.
Right.
I'm surprised no one's just like said, here, I'm buying your land.
You know, they're going to try.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They're going to try. Yeah. We ride up in Rocky Point.
Oh yeah.
So we go a little north, and I'm so thankful. We had to get like a referral kind of like our friend rode, and she put in a good word for us. And it's a private stable. So then my oldest daughter started riding when she was 6 probably or 7. And we borrowed a horse for a little bit. And then the trainer comes up to me. She goes, this is serious. She goes, you're going to need to get your own horse if you're going to stay here. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to get a horse. So now we are leasing a horse, which is essentially like owning it, but you don't have to resell it. But anything the horse needs, I pay for. All of a sudden I get a bill. I'm like, the horse got like, I call it his pedicure. It's the farrier. I'm like, horse got a farrier. I just got a bill. I got to send that off really quick. The horse got a haircut. Oh, okay. The horse needed fluids. The horse needed vaccines. I'm like, oh my goodness. What is this? On top of just like the living expenses and the lease fee. It's the craziest thing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot.
Understandable.
Yeah, but they're great. It's both of my oldest girls ride now. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, at least 2 of you are sharing a horse and you love it and you're good at it. And it's teaching them self-worth and value and taking care of an animal. They have to muck the stalls and everything themselves. Yeah. Mom doesn't help. Yeah. Mom's going to fund it and y'all are going to do the hard work. Yeah. Don't ask me to carry your saddle. Not going to do it. You guys go back and forth from the barn, like teaching them some self-worth.
Right. That's good. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about that the other day. Like my coworker, her grandkid is playing hockey and like all of her kids are like jumping in. They're like, oh, hey, let's buy them all the best gear. And I'm like, I think that's the thing in life is like, you got to make sure that you're invested. And when you are, you spend the money.
Right. Right.
And like your stable is like, hey, it seems like you're invested. You guys are liking it. Like you got to put some money in there.
Yeah.
Which proves like, hey, I feel like it gives people more self-worth and makes them want to do more in life. Mm-hmm. If people are actually investing when they show that they're interested in something.
Right. And like, I didn't put I'm not the person to direct my kids in a certain way. I grew up playing soccer. Would I love to see them play soccer? Sure. But I told them, you got to pick one thing because I have 4 kids. Y'all pick one thing that you want to do. And they're like, I like soccer, but all day long it's horses. And they didn't get that from me or my husband. They just did it on their own. So I'm like, you guys are your own people and I will support and encourage that until you don't want to do it anymore.
That's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how they got into horses?
I think like my oldest, her name's Sophia. She just brought it up one day to our friend Jennifer at church. And Jennifer's like, oh, I ride. She's the one who helped us get the stable. Oh, yeah. And then they just started showing pictures. And then she like obsessively watched like YouTube videos. And actually before we got on that stable, we did try another stable local, but they were too busy. We could get like one lesson once a week at 7:30 at night. And I was like, I can't do that. It was dark. It was under lights. So then, yeah, I think Jennifer really pushed it and she knows that. She's like, it's kind of my fault. Love her because she's amazing. She's such a good friend. But I think that's like really what showed that it was possible to my girls, where before they just said like, I want to watch Black Beauty. I want to watch Flicka. I want to watch like Spirit. Like I just want to watch all these horse shows. And then my second daughter, Alana, she does hobby horse, like the little horse head with the stick. She will jump and run around the house all day long. That is her thing. I mean, like there's horse little jumps set all through my house. When I pull my car out of the garage, I come back in and like she set up jumps. So I've got to get out of my car where my parking spot is, move the jumps. I'm like, she's jumping in the garage today. Okay. They are obsessed.
That's so neat though.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I really hope they continue it as expensive as it is. I have never seen them be so passionate about something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. So I hope they continue. I hope maybe we can travel all over the world and all over the nation and take them to horse shows.
Yeah. My sister, her sister-in-law does horse shows. And so she posts about it and stuff all the time on Facebook and Instagram. So it's crazy all the places they get to go for these horse shows. Nice. But I never realized everything that went into it until like I was following that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot.
It's a lot. Does she ride English or Western? Do you know?
I couldn't tell.
Does she have like a pretty blue jacket or a black jacket?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's English. That's like what we ride too.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between both?
The saddle and like the type of riding, like English is very like the formal riding and Western is more like rodeo a little bit.
Okay. It's definitely English then.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look up the most expensive sport, it'll be equestrian. Yeah. More than Formula One racing.
No way.
Yeah, for sure. Cause you're keeping an animal alive.
Yeah.
You're transporting an animal back and forth to wherever you're going. So I'm like, can we like stay a little closer for now?
Right. Yeah. I guess transporting a vehicle is a whole lot cheaper than keeping an actual like massive horse alive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like when you say riding English, my brain is like, that is equestrian. When you're saying like riding, I'm like, oh, that's like Western. And I see people like at the rodeos doing stuff. And I'm like, those are two very different things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've met, since working at my current job, I've met like 2 or 3 girls who rode equestrian for different like colleges, and I'm like, you can get it. Like you can get a scholarship to go school do this.
Yeah.
Like one of the girls did it for Alabama. I want to say somebody else did it for like Georgia, maybe. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an option. So your kids have options to go to college.
I mean, I could also just save all this money and pay for college myself. I mean, sure. That's great. But yeah. Western is also like, if y'all ever do a trail ride, that would be like a Western saddle. Okay. It's like the little, I don't know what it's called, the little piece that you hold on to.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Look at you.
I know a lot of random things.
I know you do.
See? Okay. Yeah. When you hold on to that, that's a Western saddle.
Yeah. Because the English saddles don't have it. It's also like...
You have reins.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily the little saddle piece.
One is more comfortable for men than others, though.
I can imagine.
I would assume the English is.
I can't imagine any of that's comfortable.
I was going to say.
No, it's not. But I remember like growing up, someone down here in New Hanover County had horses. And they were like, oh, Chris, you want to hop on? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I had ridden one like when I was younger, and I did it, and I was like, that was the most uncomfortable. She's like, yeah, probably, because that's not made for dudes. It's like, thank you.
I see some men out there riding. They do a good job. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. They figure it out somehow. I don't know.
So I have one more silly question before I get to like a real one.
Okay.
For you. What is the name of your horse?
Oh, okay. So we just switched ponies. We had Dodger, and he was our bud, and now we have Kizzy. And so it's a female, it's a mare, and apparently they're temperamental. So far, she's all right. But it's interesting. Mares are temperamental. I was like, ooh, is that like a stereotype for all females across the board? But she's been great. When we first met her, she literally just like licked my hand like crazy, and I was like, you're so sweet. Yeah. So they have a stable name, and then they have a show name. Right. So they have two names. So Dodger, his bar name was Dodger, and then his show name was Anderin's Pickpocket, which Anderin is the stable that he was born at. So he had some sort of like connection back there. And then Kizzy, her show name is Foxhaven's First Kiss. So Foxhaven is the stable she came from.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Why is it always like that for horses too? Because I know it's the same thing for like the Kentucky Derby and everything as well. Is that like a sponsor name, like the show name, or?
I have no clue. I have no clue why it's like this. It just is. Yeah, that's a question for the trainer. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, imagine saying like, we're going to take Foxhaven's First Kiss out. You know, like we're going to take Kizzy out. Right. Right. Yeah. So I guess maybe it's just easier at the barn. I have no idea.
It's like your nickname. Who really wants to be like, hey, Christopher, do you want to go? Like, hey, Chris, do you want to go get a drink?
Yeah. I get the variations of my name all the time too. Christine, Christy, Chris, Tina, all of it. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I'm Christina, but call me what I don't care. I'll respond.
Wait,
hey,
people call you Christine?
Yeah.
And you're Christina?
Yeah. All the time.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just an A. It's all right.
Two different people.
I know.
Sorry.
It's fine. My like real close friends call me Tina.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of ex-Tina?
No, ex-Tina. Yeah, maybe back in the day when ex-Tina was like a cool thing, right? Like early 2000s. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I miss the good old days of pop music.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Memories.
Yes.
Way to go. So you said you had other small businesses before you got real serious about it. So what were those other entrepreneurial endeavors?
I was a personal trainer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I lived in Brunswick County for a little bit. You said you're from there?
No.
I live there now.
Oh, you live there. Okay. So I lived in Bolivia and then Supply.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I made really good friends with this girl, Savannah, and we both like loved fitness. We ran a marathon together. We became really good friends. And so we started like a little personal training business down there. Nice. Yeah. And then I continued that up here in Wilmington. It went a little bit more private. Down there it was more group, and up here it went more private. And then that was really good during COVID because people had lost their gyms. And I said, look, we can go outside. I can train like 5 people at a time. We can be spread out. And so I had a little class going for a while. And then I did some private training in home too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the construction thing is relatively new then.
Yeah. I mean, except for like I understood the industry from the subcontractor side. And I guess what I saw with my dad. But yeah, for sure. I had to learn a lot.
Right.
But then like when I got into it, I was like, oh, this is numbers. This is numbers and like facts. Like I can do this.
Right.
Yeah. If I stay within like the parameters and the boundaries I need to, like this is very easy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no like gray areas in construction really. It's kind of like you can either do this or you can't.
Right.
Which I like.
Yeah. That's really neat because you're kind of taking both pieces of it. You're taking like the straight factual side and you're able to mix it really well with the relationship side.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you're extremely successful with what you do.
Yes. Yeah. I think so too.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah, it's astonishing the amount of contractors that don't get back to people.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's. I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, right? I try and say like, I'll get you a quote in like 2 weeks or whatever,
right, yeah.
And sometimes it's going to take longer, and I'm going to let you know it's going to take longer.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to like blow you off.
Yeah,
I'll be like, hey, I'm so sorry. It's going to take me a little longer than I planned. Just let people know what's up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of contractors out there right now that just won't respond back to you ever. It's amazing. Like. So here's a good question for you. Is there really that much work in Wilmington that you can just blow people off like that if you wanted to?
Yeah, there is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I mean, I know contractors I see them all the time on groups, like, looking for work, but I'm slammed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can barely keep up. So I don't have that problem.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that other people do, but it's astonishing how there are so many bad contractors that are still able to be in business after they do really, really shady things. Right. And I'm like, word spreads fast in Wilmington. We are very much a word of mouth area.
Oh, yeah.
How are you still doing this?
Getting all those people
the
who
new
moved
people.
here
The new
don't
people.
know anything.
I know. And here's a warning too. When we have a hurricane, I don't know if y'all notice contractors driving around with like Texas license plates, Florida license plates. They will take your deposit and run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would never, ever. I always thought about that. I'm like, I I've seen I've seen people who are like, oh yeah, there's a hurricane that hit Louisiana, so I'm going to drive. I'm like, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, keep it local. Yeah, keep it local. Go for somebody with a North Carolina license plate. And also like I don't know which hurricane we just had. Not this year, last year. But I said, like, if a contractor's out searching for work, there's a reason.
Right.
Because I'm slammed. So you guys might want to question that. Get a few quotes. Look around. Mm-hmm.
Quotes are always the best thing.
Yeah. But also numbers don't necessarily mean value. I'm not the cheapest out there. And I don't want to be.
Right.
Yeah. Like I want to add value and I want to give you my time and make it worth my time.
Exactly.
So you can go get the cheaper quote all day long and it might be great for you. And that's fine if it is. Then I just wasn't meant to be and it's fine. But I'm not going to like lessen my value to try and appease somebody else. And they shouldn't they should find what's right for them. And that might not be me. And that's fine. No,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that all the time at work. People are like, well, I want something cheaper. And I'm like, we can get cheaper, but you're probably going to have to get this fixed.
Sure.
Or you're going to have issues because you chose to go with this really pretty design that's like a millimeter wide and you have like a 7 millimeter stone on top. You're going to need that fixed. I'm like, I've been doing it for a while. I know what I'm talking about.
Chris is in jewelry. That's why.
Oh, ooh, what kind of jewelry?
All things.
All the things. Where do you work?
I'm at Reed's.
Oh, okay.
Over in Mayfair.
Yeah, I know Landon.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah,
well,
that's
of course
right.
you do, 'cause you're friends with Catherine.
Yeah.
In that circle.
Yeah.
So come by, see me.
I will.
We'll clean your jewelry.
Okay, that sounds good. I was just driving through the other day. I was like, oh, I didn't realize they sold Rolex. Like Merry Christmas. No, is it like I've been treating no Rolex. You just play it. What? Oh no, should I go with something else? All right, what should I go with?
Oh no, I love a Rolex.
I was going to say.
Oh no,
we're both
the
wearing
answer,
them.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the answer. Everyone is like, I want a Rolex now, but because similar to like what we're talking about, like good quality is worth waiting for and paying for. The quality on a Rolex is higher, and they're not throwing out a ton of watches anymore.
They don't have a lot of inventory this time of year.
Well, that was like my car. I had to wait to get my car made. I just got a Denali Ultimate 2023. Yeah, and they were like, it's going to take a while. And I said, I don't care. Yeah. I want what I want. I'll wait for it. And now I got it and I love it. It's nice. Yeah.
That's
what one of my clients just bought one too. It was the same thing. They waited. It seemed like forever.
Yeah.
They said they were going to buy it, and then it was like months and months later, and they were like, "Hey, I'm buying the car now." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Okay. They only needed a $500 deposit. I was like, I could easily bail on that if I wanted to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted it, and like, yeah, I'm obsessed. And now I'm going to get like, when I go travel for Christmas, I'm going to have my car detailing guy drive my car to get the top wrapped black, and then get powder coated black wheels.
Oh, that'd be sick.
He's such a cool mom. Such a cool mom. Because everybody's got a white Denali. I was like, no, right. I need the flavor on that. Like, that's not me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's another person we should have on here. It's like a detailer.
Oh, my detailer is great. He's like, gosh, he's going to kill me. I think 2021. He's young.
Oh yeah.
And he has his own equipment. He drives a Denali truck. Like he's crushing it, especially like Gen Z. Kala. Yeah, I'll have to send you his information. But he's fantastic. I trust him enough to drive my Denali Ultimate to Lumberton and back.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Like I trust this kid all day long. He is phenomenal. But yeah, I think that's really important because he's a hardworking like Gen Zer.
Yeah.
And you don't see that all the time. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, he's reliable. Good guy. So, and he details our boat and stuff too.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking to get my car wrapped. That's why I asked.
Oh, well, I'm going to Lumberton. So that's who he recommended. And then this guy, Nick, NRL Designs, is doing it. And so then Nick was texting me pictures. He's like, oh yeah, I just did one. And he sent me pictures. I was like, that's what I want. Let's do it.
Nice.
I just want my car detailed.
Okay. He comes to you and details your car.
That's even better.
I keep thinking, I'm like, it's expensive, but the cost of what it is versus the amount of time is well worth it.
Yeah. Well, I have kids too. So it's a train wreck. But dust and stuff, we live at the beach. Yeah. Like you can see all the salt. I don't know what color car you have, but you can see all the
it's green
specs. Well, I'm sure you can see all the salt water, salt air. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I just want my friend Fran, who we had on the podcast years ago. It's weird to say that now. She's one of the first people, but like her agency where she works at, they have a guy who shows up and he does like 3 to 5 cars in a day. And I'm like, see, I need to convince my coworkers to do this and have somebody just show up to Mayfair and just detail all our cars.
Sure.
I'm right
Mayfair might throw a
fit. Yeah.
Yeah. Mayfair might throw a fit.
You can bring it to my parking lot. I've had it done there before.
Oh, where's your parking lot? Which one?
I'm by Encino.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I live right by there. I'm off Middle
really?
Sound, like behind, Coville Farm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's where the rental is, the Airbnb.
Oh, nice.
And then, I'm not far from there.
Oh, yeah. You're right down
Red
there.
Cedar. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm in Mayfair all the time.
Oh, yeah.
People are nuts right now. I hate holiday shopping.
Oh, it's crazy.
People are like throwing the bird, like at the intersections. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all, 'tis the season. Like, be happy. They're like, no peace and joy. Like, I need to buy the gifts.
I'm like,
there's no jolly around.
Just because it's Christmas doesn't take away from the fact that there are traffic rules.
Right,
If I show up to the stop sign first. I'm going first.
Yeah, if everybody shows up at the same time, the one to the right. Like, these are basic rules. Y'all don't even know what's going on.
No, they don't.
No.
And then people just walking across the street. I'm like, okay.
You're not going to look both ways.
I mean, I go slow through there because I know people walk across, but I went across the street the other day and someone literally was just cruising along like 20 miles an hour. And I'm like, I'm going to break a leg. But I really didn't want to go to the hospital, so I just avoided it.
We don't have time for that.
No.
We're all adults. We don't have time for hospital visits. Yeah.
I have a 3-year-old and 1.5-year-old. There's always some type of doctor's visit right now.
Oh, 'tis the season for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Stomach bug, RSV, flu, you name it.
Yep.
I do elderberry. I give them elderberry. I feel like that helps.
Yeah, we are on all of that too. We all got RSV the past few weeks, and that was a rough time.
Do you have the little inhaler?
Everyone else used it. I probably should have. I probably would have got better faster. But
Yes.
Yeah. I'm all big into like supplements. So like during COVID, there's something called NAC, and that helps with like respiratory health. So that might help too.
Yeah. So my mom works with a functional doctor and stuff. So we're like all of the supplements.
Local?
NAC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where's that?
It's Wilmington Functional Medicine.
There you go.
Dr. Hillary Rutledge. She was on the podcast. So she has an episode with us.
Okay. I need to give her a visit because that's my vibe. Like I try and go like natural if I can. I love modern medicine. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
But try and go natural if I can. If not, then give me all the drugs. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of how we are too. It's like, let's start as close to nature and the earth as possible and then work our way out of it.
Right.
But yeah, so she's fantastic. She's helped us a lot. And my son had really bad eczema. And we went to a few like Western medicine type of places, and they're like, oh, he's going to need to take these shots for his whole entire life, and his immune system's going to be shot as long as he takes those shots.
Oh, no.
And
it's not worth it.
no, so we started working with her, and all of his eczema is completely gone. His gut's completely healed and everything. So we're really big believers now. So
cool. That's really cool to hear.
Yeah, it was
neat.
neat.
I'm curious to hear like what she did. I'll have to have a whole conversation with her.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't even know everything that she did. That was like my wife and my mom and her. Like I was like, you guys do it. Hand me the bill and we'll be good.
That's right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but it was really neat.
So I finally thought of it.
Okay.
It's been a while since we recorded, so my brain's just been like, with all the stuff you have, like with your kids and with your business and everything, and even in pageants, what would success look like for you? Does it look like?
Yeah. I want to wake up every day like with peace. Yeah. I really want peace. And that doesn't mean like, it's like peace amongst the chaos because my kids are going to fight. They're going to hate the breakfast I made for them. Right. But like, if I have peace and consistency and just like enjoying my life in general, I think that's success. It's never like money's going to come and go. It's going to ebb and flow. It's not consistent. So I don't want to bank on that. I just want to live a really peaceful life. I think. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I like that answer.
You're the first one to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought of this question like a couple of months ago. So yeah, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, you have to find peace amongst the chaos. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Chaos is always going to be there.
Unfortunately.
It is. Yeah. But we can only change who we are in it. We can't change necessarily what's around us.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're changing yourself in a positive way, everything around you will make adjustments.
Yeah.
So one of my last questions that kind of goes along with that is if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Oof, that's a good one. I feel like I'm in a pageant interview right now. Do you know those questions? Those are tough. I would say you're going to be proud of yourself. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Because I've worked my entire life for everything. And it's like, is it going to pay off to where I do find that peace somewhere?
Right.
And yeah, I'm finding it for sure.
Oh, that's
so, going to be proud of yourself. Keep going.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. So, because we're coming up on the end, where can people follow your journey and like all the cool stuff that you're doing right now?
Yeah. Instagram's the best way to find me. At the Christina Fulford is my personal page. And then at Fulford Construction Group is my business page. And so you can see some of the work I've done. My website, which we are currently revamping, is buildwithfulford.com.
Okay.
So that is under construction. So if you go there right now, it's not looking too good. And then my phone number, which is my personal phone number, but use it for business, please. Anybody out here, don't just be calling me, is 910-386-8022. I respond very well to texts. So if you want to talk, like text me and then we'll have a phone call together. My email is Christina@buildwithfulford.com. But like I said, Instagram is probably the best, or like text me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. She might judge you.
I saw you on the podcast. I'm like, cool, you want to build? They're like, no, I just saw you on the podcast.
I meant she's going to judge you for the color bubble that pops up.
Oh, yeah. I will. I'll be like, it's a green text. How much do I want to take this job? What do you want? They'll be like, I just need like my floors redone. I'm like, oof. Do we? I don't know. I didn't hear like a $1 million custom build. Is that what I heard? I'm going to have to deal with green text for a while. I just don't know.
It's called sarcasm.
I know. That's totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Yeah, I will talk to Android users, as we know. Yes.
Some of her best friends are Android users.
They are. Right. They are, and I love them. So no judgment.
And we will eventually get everyone on WhatsApp. So yeah, even better.
WhatsApp's the way to go. Like, well, with Android users too, and iPhone, I guess the iPhone videos, it's hard to send a video.
Right. It doesn't come through right.
Yeah. So even like my daughter's preschool teacher, she's like, I need you to send me a video of like your daughter saying this phrase. And I had to send it to her through WhatsApp. So.
Yeah. That goes with the bubble difference. So Apple technically sends everything as like an MMS. So it can it shrinks everything. Whereas like an RCS, it allows you to get like the full picture.
Oh,
so like if he sent me a picture or video, I can see everything. But like if you send it to me, it'd be like condensed.
Yeah.
Typically I get like the weird rectangular
like
videos.
Fun thumbnails. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, one of these days I'll convert.
See, us Apple users think we're like so advanced. I'm just pretty loyal. So like Apple Watch, like MacBook, iPad, like it all just syncs, and I like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably never switch.
Understandable.
So, yeah, you can do a lot with an Android. I just I don't know how to do it, and I'm not interested. So, but I know you can do a lot.
But I just want to say thank you guys for listening, hopping on the podcast. It was fun.
This was fun. Thanks
for
having me.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Everyone who's listening, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for supporting us through all the craziness over the past like almost 2 years.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.
Goodbye.